Spooky Central User's Guide Feb 2016. The Spooky Team, the Rife Machine. Congratulations! You now own the only genuine Rife machine on Earth. No doubt you've read about Dr. Royal Raymond Rife's AMA-supervised and Smithsonian-documented 100% cure of 16 terminal cancer and TB patients in the early 1930s. What you won't have read about, however, is the fact that the machine he used to achieve this was radically different to what you can buy today. Although Rife was an undoubted genius, he was not a worldly man, and he made some serious misjudgments in the years that came after. Perhaps the most damaging was his decision to employ Philip Hoyland, a radio engineer. When the time came to commercialize the technology, Hoyland decided to hide Dr. Rife's frequencies from potential competitors by generating them using a fixed carrier frequency which was modulated by audio frequencies to produce multiple sidebands. While these Hoyland machines did produce some very useful results, they were never able to replicate Dr. Rife's spectacular initial successes with diseases that really matter. So what was the difference? The original machines didn't use any carrier. All the power could be applied directly to each fundamental frequency. Hoyland's design diverted most of the power to the carrier, a fixed radio frequency which had no therapeutic value, and whose only purpose was delivery. In addition, since many sidebands were generated, only one of which was of value, the rest were dummies, each of them gobbled up even more power until what was left was a pale shadow of the original technology. Every Rife machine that came thereafter has followed the flawed Hoyland path, until now. Like Dr. Rife's original machines, Spooky Central doesn't require any wasteful and potentially harmful fixed carrier to generate sidebands. It can directly transmit frequencies up to 3.5 MHz, making it a real Rife machine, not a Hoyland bastardization. But just in case that's not enough for you, we added onboard PEMF, ultrasonic, and a very special contact mode that's capable of true reversible cell electroporation, so pathogens now have nowhere to hide. The Spooky team applauds your wise choice, and we wish you the very best of health. One warning. To avoid damaging your Spooky Central before you connect it to electrical power and switch it on, always connect your Spooky2-5M generator, PEMF coils, ultrasonic transmitter, and contact mode device first unless you don't wish to use a particular subsystem. If you change your mind later, turn off the machine first, then make the connection. #C. Never disconnect anything while Spooky Central is powered on. Always switch it off first, then disconnect. #C. Spooky Central's power switch is located on the back panel. When the machine is powered on, this switch will be lit orange and you will hear the fan running. 2. Making connections. Before you commit to any arrangement of your new rig's components, please first read the important notes, then come back here. We recommend that you lay all the cables out flat and separate so you can clearly identify each one. 1. Connect your generator. Out 1 goes to input, and out 2 connects to modulation. 2. Connect your ultrasonic transmitter to the short adapter plug, then insert this into ultrasonic. 3. Connect your hand cylinders or TENS pads to the short adapter cable, then connect it to contact. 4. Connect your PEMF coils to coil. 5. Connect your plasma tube to the rear high voltage sockets. 6. Connect your mains electrical cable to the socket on the rear of the machine. 7. Use the special USB cable that's coiled around the metal ring to connect your PC to the Spooky2-5M generator that's connected to Spooky Central. Do not uncoil it or remove the metal ring. 8. Now switch on Spooky Central. The power light will illuminate orange. For Spooky2 January 3, 2016. See John White. Optimum settings for Spooky Central. Do not apply more than 5 volts to the inputs. OUT1 goes to input. O2 goes to modulation. You may select gate from the program options. 9. Launch Spooky2. Select JW Spooky Central from the program preset menu, load the frequencies you wish to use, then run your program. 5. Spooky Central has 2 input sockets that receive frequencies from a Spooky2XM generator. One is labeled input, and the other is labeled modulation. These two inputs control the plasma tube's output. Please only use the settings shown on the left loaded when you select the JW Spooky Central preset. Critical settings are marked with red boxes. Important: Spooky Central only accepts a 5 volt per 100% offset square wave input. Any other voltage, amplitude or waveform may cause damage. A spectrum sweep can be used, but you must set it to use a square wave, with 5 as the value for amplitude, and a 100% positive value entered in both offset fields. Input duty cycle from out1 must be 50%. Modulation out2 may have any duty cycle value. 6. The 4 subsystem Spooky Central allows you to use all 4 of its powerful subsystems at the same time, or individually if you wish. Our tests show that the best results come when you run them in combination. Plasma tube: a liter plasma tube emits 2 energy fields, near field and far field. Near field extends 6 inches from the tube in all directions, and is by far the most powerful. You should position your body within the 6-inch field radius for maximum effect. Far field is less powerful, but will still have a very useful effect. Environmentally, it's capable of killing mold and disinfecting microbes in the home when you transmit suitable frequencies. Although plasma is enormously powerful when it's continuously transmitted, adding modulation and the gate will greatly increase its effectiveness. The gate creates a spike at the start of the signal every time it commences, and the modulation signal creates a moving spike by continuously varying its duty cycle. Because Spooky Central feeds a high voltage signal to the tube through its white heavy-duty cables, these emit a more powerful electromagnetic field than normal low-voltage cables. So you need to make sure that they are kept separate and apart from one another, and that they never cross over each other. This avoids compromising the power and integrity of the signal. All plasma tubes require a period of burn-in to reach their peak performance level. During this period, all impurities within the tube are automatically removed. Plasma requires frequency input from a generator, can be used alone or in combination with other frequency application methods, and is safe for use with pacemakers and other electronic implants. 7. Ultrasonic. Ultrasonic is generally defined as sound that's above the top limit of human hearing, which is 20,000 Hz. It ranges from 20,000 Hz all the way up to several gigahertz. We can't hear or make it, but many animals, fish, marine mammals, and insects can. So, just like Spooky Central's plasma, ultrasonic, too, is frequency that's directly applied without any carrier. But what makes it extra special is that sound conducts far better in water and solids than it does in air. Since our bodies are 70% water, with the remaining 30% mostly solid, this means that ultrasonic can literally flood the entire body with frequencies. To use it, you should place the metal diaphragm against bare skin. Ultrasonic will also work if the diaphragm is close to but not touching the skin, because the sound waves will travel through air. But energy transfer to the body will not be as efficient, and the technique will not be as effective as it can be. There are 2 settings available. Slow divides the plasma's output frequency by 256, and fast divides it by 16. This means that fast frequencies will be higher than those produced by slow. These 2 divisors, 256 and 16, are both octal and Fibonacci harmonics, and so will always produce more effective frequencies. Due to the limitations of the metal diaphragms used in ultrasonic transducers, this method of application is not suitable for use with spectrum sweeps, although conventional linear sweeps work fine. Ultrasonic requires frequency input from a generator, can be used alone or in combination, and is safe for those with pacemakers and other electronic implants. Contact mode. Spooky Central's contact mode SC contact is designed to be used together with plasma for maximum efficacy. However, it can also be used without the plasma tube, and in this case it will deliver a fixed frequency of 100 Hz together with the pulsed electromagnetic field PEMF signal. 8. What makes it so unique is that it adds a 320-volt energy spike payload at the end of every magnetic pulse. This lasts for half of 1/millionth of a second, 0.5 microseconds, causing an instantaneous split-second reversal of every cell wall's electrical charge. With human cells, this opens up the cell doors, allowing plasma's lethal energy to reach right inside and scour it clean of invaders in milliseconds. For pathogen cells, it's simply instant death. When used without plasma, the combination of the fixed frequency and the square wave creates an explosion of multitudinous different higher harmonics, similar to how a zapper works, except you'll never be able to buy a 320-volt zapper. The signal is DC decoupled, which means the direct current cannot flow through the body and cause tissue damage from acid buildup. SC contact doesn't require frequency input from a generator. It can be used alone or in combination. Because of the magnetic component of the signal, it's not safe for use with pacemakers or other electronic implants. PEMF coils versatile and highly effective. Pulsed electromagnetic field PEMF comes into its own when the location of the problem is known. Simply place the coils on the skin close to it, then run plasma with the appropriate frequencies. Without plasma, PEMF can be used to control all types of pain effectively, particularly in bones and joints. Each coil emits a spherical field that extends for 6 inches in all directions. So placing one on the abdomen and one on the lumbar area of the back will transect the abdominal cavity. PEMF uses a fixed frequency of 100 Hz, like SC contact. It, too, features an electrical spike at the end of each magnetic pulse. This one is 29 volts, however, so it won't electroporate human cells. But it will batter pathogens mercilessly until they're torn apart. And once again, the fixed frequency with the square wave generates a virtual fountain of higher harmonics. PEMF doesn't require frequency input from a generator. It can be used alone or in combination. Because of the magnetic component of the signal, it's not safe for use with pacemakers or other electronic implants. 9DSE presets JW, Spooky Central. This is the workhorse preset for Spooky Central. In its default state, it's perfect for Rife and Clark high frequencies. These are almost all higher than 100,000 Hz, Spooky Central's native plasma lower limit. This is a shell preset. You must load your own frequency sets into it. JW, Spooky Central low frequencies uses with frequencies lower than 100,000 Hz, which includes almost all CAFL and extra frequency sets. Shell preset. JW, Spooky Central Cancer. This is used to directly apply Dr. Royal Raymond Wright's cancer frequencies. These are loaded automatically with the preset. JW, Spooky Central Cancer with carrier. This uses modulation and an interesting carrier frequency of approximately 3.1 MHz. Strong sidebands hit both the BX and BY cancer viruses. Frequencies are loaded automatically with the preset. JW, Spooky Central Overnight Sweep loads a custom sweep program for killing all pathogens. Use this overnight because it runs for 9 hours. Multiple sidebands are created to ensure all frequencies are applied with a 0.025% MOR tolerance for 5 minutes. Frequencies are loaded automatically with the preset. 10 important notes. HD. The energy emitted by the plasma tube is so powerful it can lock up your generator and your PC if either is too close to it. Please plan your rig layout so that the tube is positioned and used as far as possible from the PC and generator. If you run multiple generators, this applies to all of them. Alternatively, we highly recommend our special USB filter cables for all generators connected to the same PC as Spooky Central's. These are inexpensive and can be bought from spooky2-mall.com. 4 modulation input assists the ionization lighting of the plasma tube. 4 plasma modulation percentage equal 100, input modulation. For unforeseen commercial reasons, we regret that we are unable to supply PEMF coils for now. These coils are inexpensive and may be sourced elsewhere easily if you need them right now. We will soon be producing our own PEMF coils. Spooky Central Operational Truth Table. Specifications: mains voltage 230 or 110 V, region specific mains power max 150 W, input and modulation voltage 5 VDC, input frequency range 100 kHz 3.5 MHz, modulation optional, input signal voltage 5 VDC, modulation frequency range 100 kHz 3.5 MHz, high voltage output RMS 543 V, high voltage peak 9315 V, plasma tube power max 40 W, frequency range 100 kHz 3.5 MHz, minimum specification dependent on cable length, layout, and tube type. Ultrasonic output 29 VAC, ultrasonic power max 2 W, ultrasonic optimum frequency range 0 Hz 1 MHz, contact output 320 VDC/0.5 ms, contact power mean 150 megawatts, contact power instantaneous 1 K, load 102 watts, contact frequency 100 Hz, coil output 29 VDC/69 ms, coil power mean 200 megawatts, coil power instantaneous 134 watts, coil frequency 100 Hz, coil field strength 200 Gauss. 12 precautions for users HD. If you suffered from impaired liver or kidney functions, please exercise caution when using Spooky2 HD frequency generation systems should never be used while pregnant. Please do not operate the Spooky2 frequency generation system while driving or using dangerous machinery. Please keep your Spooky2 frequency generation system out of the reach of children. If you feel nauseous, faint, dizzy, or have flu-like symptoms or headaches after exposures to Spooky2's frequencies, please drink lots of pure water and shorten your future Spooky2 session times appropriately. Because no electricity is passed into the body when using the Spooky2 frequency generation system to broadcast frequencies via non-local space remote mode, Spooky Central plasma or ultrasonic, this system should have no ill effect on the electrical or mechanical components of cardiac pacemakers or internal defibrillators. But, as always when using frequencies, please proceed with care and caution. If you do suffer with heart problems, or wear a pacemaker or other electrical implant, you should never attach electrodes or PEMF coils to the Spooky2 system. Please use Spooky2's remote mode, or Spooky Central plasma or ultrasonic only. In general, it's best to experiment with Spooky2 before about 5 p.m. because the excitation effects of frequencies on human cells can affect sleep. However, depending on the nature of your experimentation, Spooky2 can be run overnight if desired. Finally, when experimenting with Spooky2 or any other frequency generation system, proper hydration will produce better results. As a general rule, it's best to drink 4-8 pints of pure water daily, half of it before noon. On behalf of all those who assisted in the development of Spooky2, we wish you all a long and healthy life. John White, 2016-13 Legal Notice and Disclaimer: the Spooky2 software and frequency generation system is not approved by the FDA as a medical device. It is intended for use as an experimental electronic device only. It is not intended for the diagnosis, prevention, cure, treatment, or mitigation of any disease or illness in human beings. Neither is it designed or intended to affect the function or structure of any human body system. I, John White, make no medical claims whatsoever for the Spooky2 frequency generation system. If you have a problem with your health, please consult a licensed healthcare professional. In the U.S., you can legally use frequency systems like Spooky2 for testing, energy balancing, life extension, and relaxation. You can experiment choosing frequencies on bacterial cultures, laboratory animals, and yourself. For what it's worth, you still have a legal right to self-medicate under the 9th Amendment of the United States Constitution. In Germany and South Africa, as well as some other nations, frequency devices are legally licensed as medical instruments. Please note that neither I, John White, nor any of my associates involved in the design and development of this system, are responsible whatsoever for the use, abuse, or misuse, intentionally or unintentionally, of the Spooky2 frequency generation system or any of its component parts due to any circumstances beyond our reasonable control. In any case, I, John White, or any of my associates, shall have no other liability. By using the Spooky2 frequency generation system, you, the user, understand and accept that you have no expectation of curing any ailment. You also understand that possible negative physical and/or mental effects, unknown to John White or his associates, might result from the use of the Spooky2 frequency generation system. Moreover, you intend to undertake only responsible experimentation, and you voluntarily accept all responsibility for the use and application of all frequencies generated by the Spooky2 system. Furthermore, you agree that you will not hold John White or associates responsible for any consequences, whether harmful or otherwise, that may occur as a result of using the Spooky2 frequency generation system. The end.